Yeah, let's bridge the gap.
Started to write worship in 2008. Hold on. Yeah, and then I started work at Starbucks, I remember, and for about a year.
Starbucks Mac Tour.
Yeah, and there's the Starbucks Mac Tour, and that was towards the end. So, like, we're writing worship songs. I started writing worship songs towards the end of somewhere in 2009. I started writing worship songs. And
yeah, because at the end of 2009 is...
And then somewhere in the middle of 2009, we did the Mac Tour while I was still working at Starbucks, and I was coming up with the idea while I was working, while I was on break. Because I'm like, wouldn't it be perfect? It was basically based off of someone who was one of my customers when I was on drive-thru, and then I came up with the idea, wouldn't it be funny if this person started doing this, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my god, I want to do that. And we kind of ended up doing, like, typical kind of, like, rap in the drive-thru, but it wasn't as typical back then.
No.
And the way we did it, it was with a real beat. It wasn't with someone beatboxing. It was like a real fucking beat. And
it was really quick, and it was just enough for you know, the ADD of America.
Oh, definitely. And the thing is, it was based off of the kind of like the audacity of someone just having their music fucking bumping when they came up to the drive-thru, and they didn't even turn it off for like immediately. They just kept it going for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like while they're still up there, and they don't understand that it's condensed mics. Condenser, like little mini condenser mics that are in the drive-thru box that you could hear every single thing.
Oh, I know. They always act like it's Neanderthal, like you have to scream into it.
Totally.
Like, hey, can I get this? But really, you talk like this.
Yeah, you could just
everything.
be whispering and we hear you.
Exactly.
So yeah, we did that. Somewhere towards the end, it became, Jacob quit HM1. I was recording Jacob's solo project, which was worship as well, and it was called Zebra Mountain.
Party Till We Die. Let's party till we die.
Let's start Party Till We Die.
And I did the photo shoot for that album.
Yeah, so we were hanging out with Jake, and then I ended up quitting. And that was the thing. It was like, we were going to keep going, but when I quit, and it was weird because, you know, it was really a downer that Jake quit. And I can't remember what it was about. Oh, it was about some, some church regulation thing, and that Jacob did not agree with that. And basically, the point is that I quit. And then me and Jacob, after recording that album, me and Jacob wanted to start up essentially Think of Wall Paint again, because I wanted to be a vocalist again. I wanted to bring up what happened before Action Tycoon and Nate doing the whole thing. The reason I was so aggro as a guitar player, I think, in Action Tycoon was because it was all this pent-up energy from wanting to be a frontman and really starting to get into it and really starting to get into the persona. And right before I prime out, Nate was like, I'm gonna quit Think of Wall Paint and start an Action Tycoon, this band, and then, you know, like invite you and then not invite Jake and blah 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 and all this drama. So I had all this pent-up frontman energy with the guitar player thing, and it just kind of came out. And I really felt like I was that kind of Angus Young character in the band, and I didn't think it at the time. I just thought, I hate playing guitar, and I'm playing guitar, it's okay, whatever. So there was just that energy.
So let's talk about the dawn of Zebra Mountain.
So Zebra Mountain started, so basically me and Jacob were going to start Think of Wall Paint again, and he insisted, he's like, hey, could we call it Zebra Mountain? And I'm like, and it took me a while, and it took me the rest of the day, and well,
I feel that as well.
Well, it didn't take me the rest of the day. It took me like 10 minutes because he was waiting. We were in the kitchen, and I was like, yeah, okay, because I wanted to call it something new.
How's the focus on this? Like, it's focused on your face right now, or should you be?
It's probably blurry, but
see, that's what I'm saying.
It's probably perfect for you, but I don't care if it's blurry for me.
Okay, all right. Continue. Sorry.
But the point is that, so we ended up calling it Zebra Mountain. You tell me the story of Zebra Mountain.
Okay, I can tell from my perspective is that, so first it was Jake's solo project, as we just said, and then they wanted to start something, so they're like, you know what? Let's just use the name again. Let's just say it's Zebra Mountain, even though he did a whole album, Let's Party Till We Die, of just his solo stuff. So technically that is still Zebra Mountain, but it's so funny as to what it became, which seems like it's so irrelevant to have that solo. No offense, you know what I mean? Like, just it seems so irrelevant to have that album be the same band. But, and then I just remember going to the first show, which when it was just him, remember that? At that church, because at the beginning it was still
Sanctuary Ministries.
Yeah, in Concord. Concord, California. So it was still a Christian thing at that point still, and you know, a good amount into it, but and I just remember watching him and seeing how it seemed like he really didn't like just the spotlight on him, even though he, you know, did acting and everything like that. He didn't say anything in between each song, and he would switch back and forth to piano and guitar and singing.
Right.
And it was a pretty intimate show. And I just remember thinking, like, I wish I was up there. I remember thinking this, like, I wish I was up there with him to help him feel less awkward, because he almost acted
I
like...
didn't know you thought that.
Yeah, well, I was like, somebody needs to be up there.
I just felt like, I can't believe this dude's really just, okay, he's doing it.
Well, but what it reminded me of is how you were at the first Jam Down show.
Okay.
I remember thinking that, like, this is like a deer in headlights kind of scenario, where he was just like, he maybe said 1 to 2 words in between a song. It would be great if somebody came up on stage, like, with us and just, like, Horse the Band, where you have the triangle player, it would be somebody strumming guitar, but they're not playing guitar. So the guitar we had didn't have strings.
Okay, well, there's
on it.
kind of an explanation. Basically, what happened was because I just said we wanted to do Think of Wall Paint, I wanted to do a Beatcraft Mo kind of thing where we had a
drum machine.
Drum machine. But what I wanted to do was I ended up, like, laboratory kind of scientist stupid bullshit. I was in my room and I wanted to figure out how to run outputs out of my interface for Pro Tools and see if I could play different sounds out of each output, because there's 8 outputs on this, like, Digio 3 rack thing. And I wanted to see if I could run just a guitar to a guitar amp and play it in sequence. Just like put drums in a specific speaker and guitar in a different speaker and bass in a different speaker. And I remember the first test I did, I was like, okay, run the outputs, like, set it all up. Okay, run out of number 3, plug the cord into number 3, plug it into the guitar amp, turn the guitar amp up, and press play. And, like, it just playing the guitar, I just had this one, like, weird victorious moment. I'm like, it's alive, you know? Like,
yes, Frankenstein.
I was like, yes, and knowing just off of that test, I'm like, I can make a whole band where just, like, we're backed by a whole band of...
Yes, which is, okay, can I say that I always felt when I was younger that Jamey just wished he could clone himself to make a whole band. That way, you know, there'd be a way to have somebody on every instrument. Because people are really flaky, you know, or they're not good enough or whatever, so... It would be, you know, ideal for him to just clone himself, you know, 6, 7 times and have a whole band. And that is probably the first dose you got of, like, I can do this.
Right.
It can just be me. But really, I'm playing all the instruments just pre-recorded, right? And so that was that. And so, I'm going to say we started... I say we, but really I was there. I was like a fangirl. Jamey and Jake Broughton were at Jake Broughton's house in Oakley, and basically it was just kind of a rehearsal of what are we going to do on stage. Because if anything, the only thing that's going to happen live is the vocals, not the actual music. And so
that was the original.
The original thought, I remember, like, just thinking, this is a crazy idea, but I'm going to do it. And I was going to hold the fucking guitar when I didn't... you know, I know generally how to play guitar. I know when the chords...
She was going to hold guitar.
I was going to hold a guitar with no strings on it, no chord.
And her friend Emily was going to hold bass.
And my best friend Emily at the time was going to hold a bass with also no strings on it.
Yeah.
Two no string...
Funny enough, what ended up happening was Steph ended up playing drums.
Oh, yeah.
But Emily actually ended up playing, like, the first 2, maybe 3 shows... And she actually pretended to play with this freaking bass that had no strings.
I forgot about that.
She played Red House. Some people have never played Red House.
Oh my god,
She played Red House back when the stage was on the other side.
Oh, my mind is blown.
And she just knew all the songs, and there's still footage of her, like, up on stage, like, with no strings, with
that
a
was
strap.
before the Red House switched where the stage was.
Yeah, exactly,
so
like I was just saying.
Original style.
The stage was on the other side.
And on YouTube, I know there's a bunch of clips of her doing that shit.
Yeah,
and
so that's just, that's crazy.
And that's back when, okay, so... Zebra Mountain, before I was entirely in it, you guys made the trailer hitch thing. So it was like...
Okay, if we're talking about 2009.
Yes. Wait. First, it was Let's Party Till We Die, then Mustache, then Trailer Hitch.
No, you're full of shit.
Really? Trailer Hitch wasn't...
Anyways,
Trailer
this is what
Hitch
happened.
Mustache?
Let's Party Till We Die. Then I was recording a band called Tragic Ends, which was her boyfriend's band. Let me just say that. And then and then they needed a guitar player, so then I basically joined the band.
Yeah.
Ended up doing another album with them, like writing it. All the while, me and Jacob are also writing for Zebra Mountain, and me and Jake Timon as well.